The rain drifted down in a soft, almost hesitant drizzle, tapping gently against the cracked windows of the old college building. The once white walls, now weathered and streaked with age, seemed to drink in the dim yellow glow of the courtyard lamps, casting long, wavering shadows that swayed with the wind. Somewhere in the distance, the faint hum of the rain mixed with the occasional creak of the building's wooden beams. A quiet reminder that this place had seen decades of stories pass through its halls. It had been years since anyone had gathered here, yet tonight, the campus felt alive again. The main courtyard echoed with bursts of laughter, overlapping conversations, and the warm hum of nostalgia. Old classmates, their faces older, yet somehow familiar, swapped stories about professors they once feared, friendships they once thought unbreakable, and dreams they once believed were limitless. For a few fleeting hours, it was as though time had rolled back, and they were students again, standing under the same dim lights, with the same restless hope in their eyes. Among them was Sarah Collins. She had been away from the city for years, living a quiet, almost reclusive life in a small coastal town. No one had heard much from her in a long time, but when the invitation for the reunion arrived, she decided, almost on impulse, to come. She told herself it was for old time's sake, but deep down, she felt a strange pull, as though some unseen thread had drawn her back to this place. As the night stretched on, people began drifting away in small groups. But before they left, someone suggested one last keepsake, a group photo in front of the main hall, the heart of the college, where countless memories had been made. Everyone gathered under the faint light spilling from the tall, arched windows, arranging themselves in neat rows. Rain slicked the cobblestones beneath their feet, and the cold air clung to their breath. The photographer raised his camera, the lens glinting briefly in the light. "All right, everyone, smile," he called out. In that moment, laughter froze, shoulders straightened, and dozens of faces turned toward the camera. The flash went off, a sharp white burst, cutting through the night, sealing the moment forever. Or at least that's what Sarah thought. 2 days later, just as Sarah was making tea in her small apartment, her phone buzzed with a sharp ping, a notification from the college reunion WhatsApp group. She wiped her hands, unlocked the screen, and saw the message. "Group photos here, posting for everyone to keep." The thumbnail of the image sat there, small but unmistakable, the final moment they had all shared outside the main hall. Feeling a twinge of nostalgia, Sarah tapped it open, expecting to see herself surrounded by familiar faces, smiling, just like everyone else. But the moment the photo filled her screen, the warmth drained from her body. Her breath caught mid-inhale, freezing in her throat. Everyone else in the picture looked exactly as she remembered. Faces lit with joy, eyes sparkling, mid-laughter. Even the dim light had captured them perfectly. Except for her. Where Sarah should have been standing was a void. Not an empty space, not a blur from movement, but a solid, pitch-black silhouette, darker than night, standing in her exact posture. No eyes, no mouth, no hint of human skin. Just a human-shaped shadow, unnervingly still amidst the living. The hair on her arms rose as a chill crept along her spine. She couldn't tear her eyes from it. The shadow seemed wrong, as though it didn't just replace her, it was watching. Her phone vibrated again. The reunion group chat was buzzing. Friends sent laughing emojis. "Whoa, Sarah. Who's the ghost in your place?" one wrote. Another chimed in. "Guess the camera caught your dark side, huh?" The messages kept coming, playful, teasing, but Sarah wasn't smiling. Her tea had gone cold in her hand. Her reflection, faint, in the dark screen. And for a split second, she thought she saw that same black silhouette standing behind her. Uneasy, Sarah found herself scrolling through her contacts until she reached the name of the reunion's hired photographer. Her fingers trembled slightly as she pressed call. When he picked up, his voice was casual, cheerful, clearly not expecting anything unusual. "Hey, Sarah? Great to hear from you. What's up?" She swallowed, trying to steady her voice. "Could you please send me the original file of the group photo? The one straight from your camera. No edits." There was a short pause on the line, the faint sound of a computer fan humming in the background. Sure, but the original's perfectly fine," he said, sounding almost amused. "You're smiling, standing right there with everyone else." Her grip on the phone tightened. "Just send it to me, please." Minutes later, the file came through. Sarah's thumb hovered over it, her pulse thudding in her ears. She tapped to open it and felt the floor drop out from under her. It wasn't her. In her place stood a woman who looked as though she had been cut from an old, fading black and white photograph and pasted into the scene. Her face was blurred, almost smudged, yet her eyes, pale and unblinking, were locked directly onto the camera lens. She wore a high-collared blouse and a knee-length skirt straight out of the 1980s, the fabric dull and aged, like something left too long in a trunk. Around her neck hung a faded lanyard with a cracked plastic holder. Inside it, a college ID card from a graduating batch that had closed decades ago. Sarah's mind stuttered. She knew that face. It took a moment for the memory to surface. A dusty newspaper clipping she had stumbled across in the campus archives years ago while doing research. A student named Marianne Evans. The article had said she vanished in 1986 during the annual alumni gathering, during a group photo taken in front of the exact same main hall doors. In the published picture, her place had been nothing but a featureless dark silhouette, just like Sarah's in the reunion shot. Marianne's body was never found. Now, it felt like Marianne had stepped out of that yellowed page and into Sarah's life. That night, Sarah sat alone in her apartment, the glow of a single lamp spilling across the room. The rain had followed her home, tapping against the windows in a slow, persistent rhythm. She kept glancing at her phone, the photo still open on the screen. That woman's blurred eyes drilling into her. Somewhere in the stillness, a faint sound broke through. A rustle, like fabric brushing against the wall. Sarah's head jerked toward the far corner of the room. Nothing. At first. Then the shadows there seemed to deepen, swallowing the light, coiling into something denser. It began to move. The darkness stretched upward, twisting, gathering shape until it resembled a figure, tall, unnaturally still. Slowly, features began to emerge from the void, cheekbones, a pale mouth, and then, with a sharp clarity that made Sarah's breath seize, the face from the photo. Her skin was paper white, as if it had never known sunlight. That blurred, frozen smile curved in a way that wasn't human. And the eyes gleamed like glass marbles, cold, unblinking, and bottomless. Sarah couldn't move. The figure took a step forward. The sound of it was like wet cloth dragging across the floor. The air in the room thickened. Sarah's chest burned as if something was pressing down on it. She tried to speak, to scream, but her voice refused to obey. The woman, Marianne, stopped just inches from her. That smile widened. And then the light flickered once, twice, and went out. The next morning, the reunion group chat lit up with frantic messages. At 6:14 a.m., someone posted, "Guys, remove Sarah's number. She died last night in a car crash." Below the message was a freshly posted group photo. It was the same reunion shot, except now Marianne's face was no longer blurred. Her features were crisp, sharp, alive. and she wasn't alone. Standing right beside her was Sarah, smiling, her skin pale as parchment, eyes as glassy as Marianne's. Further down the row, where another friend had been standing, there was now nothing but a pitch-black silhouette, waiting.